Actually divided our project up into two. The first thing that we're doing is we're rewriting the city comprehensive plan, which was last rewritten in 1997. And then we're also going to be working on the 13th Street corridor, which is a gateway into the city of Easton from the west. And it actually takes more cars than any other road in the city of Easton. A lot of commuter traffic, a lot of neighborhood traffic. So we want to utilize our comprehensive plan, the urban design pieces of that, to work through some job supportive efforts there as well. Back to the comprehensive plan though, we decided back in about 2005 that we needed to create a better regulatory environment to kind of support the revitalization that was going on in our community. So we adopted a local historic district ordinance and formed a committee which expanded out to 38 members of the community to start to rewrite our planning and zoning code. And what that did was it basically opened up uses, zoning uses, what you can and can't do on a lot in the city of Easton, to a variety of new things. Craft, industrial, all sorts of mixed uses that for some reason were not allowed before, though traditionally had been allowed in the city. So utilizing that kind of strategy, we were able to really set in motion a lot of revitalization in the community. Now we're to the point, several years later, about 8 years, 7, 8 years later, since that process happened, that we need to figure out what the next steps are and how to sustain that revitalization. So rewriting our comprehensive plan is key to that. So far, we've spoken to about 600 people since January throughout the community, utilizing any organization that would be kind enough to speak to us in individual interviews, with everything from our public utilities to the cable company to our neighborhood groups. And in fact, this evening, there is a meeting going on right now in our West Ward neighborhood to talk about what they would like to guide their future prosperity and address the changes that they would like to make in their neighborhood as part of the planning effort. By and large, we've really kind of set a tone through that planning and zoning code rewrite process that any project in the city of Easton would be planned. Therefore, it would be integrated into our existing fabric to be consistent and maintain a quality that would allow for sustainability. We've had this policy really on the books since 2008, and that's served in a lot of ways to encourage the about $500 million of investment we've had in our 4 square mile community. The comprehensive plan effort will address very similar things to what the other planners were talking about, everything from vacancy to housing to utility needs to redevelopment, similar to Allentown. I like to say we're at 100% build out, so anything that we do build or do reuse really requires kind of a surgeon's eye, since we're dealing with a heavily dense community at over 6,100 persons per acre to kind of revitalize our community and make sure that all of those things kind of build on each other and really tie together. So we just kind of have a motto that if you don't plan, you plan to kind of fail. And from that, we've really started to address this more global effort and that sustained revitalization in the community.
Wonderful. Can you speak a little bit about how the city's comprehensive plan then will tie into the Lehigh Valley comprehensive plan?
Yes, absolutely. One of our big goals is that whatever we do, that it would be consistent with the regional planning efforts. There's a million logical reasons for that to happen. Everything from highway access on Route 78, on Route 22 and Interstate 78 and how that affects our tourism, arts and culture community, to making sure that we're kind of keeping with the development pattern and uses and relationships with our neighbors. And all of that coordination really does reduce costs to the taxpayers over time, reduces redundancies, and really provides for a better and improved community overall.
Wonderful. Is there anything else that you'd like to highlight about Easton's project over the next year and a half or so with Envision Lehigh Valley?
Sure. We're hoping to move into that 13th Street kind of urban design phase as we continue to grow the project. And I have some slides that show a community on a state highway anywhere. And it kind of shows a typical highway commercial building that you would see. Not a very pedestrian-friendly or transit-friendly environment, pretty much built for the automobile, with the exception of having the buildings close to the road. In the next slide, you'll see that when you start to add sidewalks, better street trees, improved traffic signalization, that you can start to accommodate, more than one category of transportation, so people and bikes start to be more welcome and feel more safe in that environment. And then this third slide shows how that actually adds value to the land around that transit investment, and that what we call transit equity model. We'll be growing our 13th Street project into something very similar. We'll be reconnecting our West Warren neighborhood with our College Hill neighborhood and allowing that to support the revitalization of this former Simone Silk Mill, tie into the Carlston Arch Trail, which ties into the regional trail network, provide access to jobs, better quality housing, and those sorts of things.